benefit. It's not a personal thing as far as the Monmouth employees.
Hank Anderson? Okay, Ray, just one other thing that I want to add. And I think that's one of the hardest things is that when you look at this from a productivity standpoint or from a service-related standpoint, when the organization makes the decisions it makes, right now this is called network optimization. And one of the things we didn't really talk a lot about is the transportation costs that this organization incurs on a daily basis. And part of it has to do with the fact that when we dispatch trailers from mail processing facilities, we pay by the mile. We don't pay by the content on the trailer. So if you can consolidate mail into one building and launch those trucks out of fewer facilities, there's significant savings to be had. And that's why it's looked at from a geographical standpoint. I agree with what somebody said about how much mail is processed in Monmouth, and I'm also a plant manager. And I think one of the saddest things I heard tonight was that we really don't care about the employees. That's not true. No, it really is not true. And we spend an awful lot of time on the workroom floor talking to employees. So that's something that I'd like to dispel right now. That's not the truth. But most of this has to do with network optimization.
You just showed a graph. You're going 42 miles further out. How you save it on transportation and gas? It's not free. If you're paying by the mile, you're taking it further away.
But what we are doing is the Monmouth facility will still be open as a transfer point. Just like right now with your collection volume that comes into Trenton. It still goes through the Monmouth plant. And from the Monmouth plant, it gets trucked to Trenton. That's what happens right now.
No jobs.
From a DPS standpoint, if this study goes through, the mail will be processed in Trenton. It will go back to Monmouth, and the HCR contractors will dispatch it out of Monmouth.
Just the one gentleman before, you didn't answer this question about the study. You spent a lot of money on this study based on a non-existent delivery status of 2 to 3. It doesn't exist. You did an enormous amount of study and a lot of money invested in an AMP study for a mail delivery standard that does not exist yet. Why? You're doing it on what if?
It's preparing for the future.
On what if? You could do a 5-day delivery, 6-day. Those don't exist. With reality, we have overnight now. So why wasn't there a study done on that?
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean. Why wasn't there a study done on?
You did a study on the standards were changed.
Right.
The standards are not changed yet. So why did you do a study on something that has not been approved yet by Congress?
Because the Postal Service, the hierarchy in the Postal Service believes that this is a plan that will save the Postal Service money and that change is going to happen. That's why they did it on the 2-day. Right now it doesn't. So if it doesn't come to fruition, then these studies are no good.
Until you change the standards, you can't implement this plan. So why would you do a study on something that don't exist?
The one thing we do need to be clear about is 5-day delivery takes an act of Congress. Changing service standards does not. That is something the organization, that's a decision the organization can make independently. It does not require a change in federal law. Delivery frequency does. Those are the 2 main differences. And I apologize for not answering questions. What I was hearing was comments. And, you know, I was listening to your comments. I didn't really at many times hear the question being asked, but please don't take that as we are not here to answer questions. We will answer any question you have for us to the best of our ability.
My question is, you have the same amount of employees in the system, be it they're in this box or that box. How do you save $6,900,000 in work hours if you still have the same amount of employees working for those hours? So how do you get the savings?
Well, in the past, how the savings have occurred is through general attrition when people have chosen to leave.
Well, what if nobody chooses to leave? What if everybody stays? They just say, okay, well, we'll drive over here and work. They're still in the system. So how are you saving $6,900,000?
They'll be paying the Monmouth employees to work in Trent, but you're still paying them. That's what he's saying. So where's the savings?
The savings are projected, listen, one thing that we talked about was this is a study, and this is the results of the study, and that's what we're here to do, to share the results.
Sharing to retire and share that.
We gotta get back.